Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRIENDS and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. Let me tell you, the NFL's offseason continues to heat up, and the latest buzz isn't just about draft picks or coaching moves. No, this time we're talking about a blockbuster potential trade that could shake up the entire NFC East. And honestly, it might just make the Washington Commanders a much more formidable force on the defensive side of the ball. Rumors swirling around suggest that Myles Garrett, the dominant edge rusher from the Cleveland Browns, could be headed to Washington. And if this actually happens, it's going to be a game changer for the team's chances of contending in 2024 and beyond. Let's break it down. Myles Garrett, at just 29 years old, is one of the most feared pass rushers in the league. His profile is nothing short of titanic. In the 2025 season, he's been a wrecking ball, playing in 10 games so far, racking up 28 solo tackles, 12 assisted tackles, and an astonishing 40 combined pressures. He's not just getting to the quarterback. He's dominating the game with 9 sacks and 45 total sacks combined, including forced fumbles and other game-changing plays. His pass rush win rate is a staggering 32%, which leads all edge rushers in the league, and he's been credited with over 180 pressures in 2024 alone. That's elite-level production. His career stats are equally impressive: over 368 solo tackles, 142 assisted tackles, and nearly 99 sacks. His EPA per snap is 0.22, and he's a 5-time Pro Bowler, plus a Defensive Player of the Year award holder. When you look at the numbers, it's clear that Garrett isn't just a good player, he's an absolute game wrecker. His impact on the field is immediate, and he's the kind of player who, when added to a defensive line, can elevate the entire unit. For the Commanders, this could mean a massive upgrade on the defensive front, especially with the recent injuries they've faced, Darren Payne dealing with a hip injury and Clelin Ferrell battling a knee issue. Those injuries have exposed some weaknesses, but adding Garrett could turn that around overnight. Now, why would Cleveland consider trading Garrett? Well, the Browns are sitting at 3-7, and their offense, averaging just 18.9 points per game, has struggled to find consistency. Cleveland's cap situation is also a factor. They're in the negative and need to make some moves to rebuild. Trading Garrett, who carries a $29 million cap hit, makes sense for them, especially as they look to reset with a new quarterback after the Watson experiment hasn't gone as planned. Cleveland is essentially in full rebuild mode, unloading stars for draft picks and cap space, similar to what the Bears did when they traded Khalil Mack in 2022, which gave them the flexibility to rebuild their roster more strategically. For Washington, acquiring Garrett would be an immediate shot in the arm for their defense, which has been solid but inconsistent. The defensive line, which has been a strength at times, could become an unstoppable force with Garrett's addition. Picture him lining up opposite Montez Sweat, with Jamin Davis and the rest of the linebackers benefiting from the extra pressure. His presence alone would open up more opportunities for the secondary, giving them the chance to create turnovers and force more mistakes. His projected stats for the rest of the season: at least plus 14 sacks and a 25% increase in pressure rate, which would significantly reduce the opponent's points per game. Currently, Washington's defense allows about 4 points per game, but with Garrett, that number could drop closer to 21, making the team much more competitive in close games. And let's not forget the ripple effect. Adding a player of Garrett's caliber often boosts the entire defense's confidence and production. For example, when Nick Bosa was traded to the 49ers in 2025, their defense saw a boost of about 15% in overall efficiency, and their sacks skyrocketed. So the impact on Washington could be similarly seismic. Plus, Garrett's cap hit could be adjusted somewhat, around $2 million, making it a manageable move for the team's salary structure. And the best part, his addition would likely increase turnovers by around 15%, which is huge for a team aiming for playoff success. Speaking of playoffs, the potential impact on Super Bowl odds is also fascinating. Right now, Washington's odds are around plus 12-0, which means they're pretty much outsiders. But if Garrett joins the team, those odds could plummet to about plus 3,500, a massive jump that puts them squarely in the conversation for deep playoff runs, maybe even Super Bowl contention. And against the Dallas Cowboys' offensive line, Garrett could be a nightmare, boosting the team's chances of disrupting their rhythm and creating a playoff disruption rate of around 20%. That's serious impact, and it's exactly the kind of move that can shift the balance of power in the NFC East. Of course, not everyone is sold on this move. The Browns are in turmoil, and trading away Garrett might seem risky. Losing a cornerstone of their defense during a tough season could backfire. But Cleveland is betting on a future rebuild, and the trade would give them valuable draft picks and cap relief. For Washington, though, this isn't just about adding a star. It's about transforming their defense into a true nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. A Garrett-led defensive line would make life miserable for offenses, forcing more turnovers, creating more sacks, and giving the secondary the kind of relief they've been craving. In conclusion, if this trade goes through, it's a clear signal that the Commanders are all in on contending and making a serious push for the playoffs and beyond. It's a bold move, yes, but one that could define the franchise's future. The combination of Garrett's elite pass-rushing skills, the team's current needs, and the potential to elevate their defense to elite status makes this a story worth watching. The NFL offseason is always full of surprises, but this one could be the most impactful for the Commanders in years. A true game-changer in the NFC East. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So fans, what do you think? Is this the move that could propel Washington back into Super Bowl contention? Or is it too risky to give up such valuable assets for a player who might not stay long-term? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. This is the kind of move that can ignite a franchise or backfire if not handled right. But one thing, for sure, it's got everyone talking. The NFL never stops, and neither do the Washington Commanders when it comes to building a team that can compete at the highest level. Keep your eyes on this story because if it happens, it'll be one of the biggest headlines of the offseason, and it could change the entire landscape of the NFC East. And remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, rumors, and analysis, so stay tuned and keep supporting your Commanders. Whether it's with your comments, likes, or just your passion, you're what makes this team great. Let's keep dreaming big, and maybe, just maybe, we'll see that Super Bowl trophy back in DC sooner rather than later. Thanks for sticking with me, and as always, hail to the Commanders.